Oh, God, today's been a day. Hold on. Alrighty. Alright, let's see if we got sound from the game and everything. Alrighty. Alright, let's see if we got sound from the game and everything. Alright, cool. Sweet. Alright, everybody, we are here for another stream of Seduce Me. I'm Gina, aka the Gina Chu. Today, we are doing the very highly anticipated Matthew route, which I'm super excited about. Matthew's route is very cute, but it's actually my least favorite of the bunch. Not quite sure why, but it's a very cute route. Probably because the general subject matter isn't very romancy. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna romance some Matthew because he's super adorable. Okay, here we go. Getting the Matthew true end. Let's do it. Gwen is here. Hi, Gwen. And Shelties is here. We've been chatting. I'm so happy you guys are here. You know, I love your faces. I love having you guys here. It's pretty amazing. You are all pretty amazing. Okay, so Matthew, Gwen is the lady of this route. She asked me to name the character Gwen Pie, so that is what we are doing. Gwen, I love you. Alright. I like the Dragon Company, blah, blah, blah. We've seen all this. We've all seen all this. Me and you both, Naomi. Let's get to the good stuff. Gwen, she's so excited. Mac and cheese and a soda. Her name is Gwen Pie. Naomi's right, Suzu. Stop being so crazy. You know what? We keep saying try again. Let's leave it alone and see what happens here. There was no real use talking to him about this. It would be like reopening a wound or reapplying a bruise. I sighed. He gave me a side glance out of curiosity, but didn't pursue it further. Typical. Okay, yeah, so basically everything after that is normal. It's just a couple of extra lines. Okay. So, since we're not romancing him, since we're not romancing Sam this time, we're gonna hit him, because I know people have been wanting me to be a little bit naughtier, but I couldn't do that on Sam's route. So... You sent out an event on Steam, what, for the stream? I mean, I could put, like, events in the schedule for my streams, but I feel like that would annoy people who are part of the group. Like, they would just get announcements every goddamn night. It'd be annoying. Anyway, hit him again!
How? You're just being violent now!
You deserved it. Anyway, okay, yeah, that's all it is. It's just those two lines, but it's great. I love it. He's just like, you're just being violent now. Alright. We're gonna be calm here. We're gonna get around to Damien next time. Okay. So this is where we start the Matthew romance route. When he makes this creepy bunny, instead of saying you can have it, we'll say, I think I'll keep it.
But it looks so creepy.
It's the thought that counts, right? You wanted to cheer me up after all. I picked up the doll and looked at it closely. Sure, it looked pretty weird at first, but it could be cute if I looked at it from a certain angle. I gave him a small smile. Thanks.
You're welcome. It's good to see you smiling, even though the thing I made still kind of creeps me out. Anyway, you should come with me to the dining room. We're almost finished with the food, and, well, I don't mean to brag, but we're pretty decent chefs.
Sounds great. Lead the way. Alrighty, and that's it for that route. Okay. Sure, we'll tell you the story. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, he has a great laugh, Gwen. We're gonna be cool. Eric, you butt face. I'm kidding. I love Eric. Okay, so I almost could hold my laughter in. So I didn't. So we don't hold in our laughter. Matthew's voice actor is pretty great. We're just gonna say they're visitors. We've done all 3 of these already, so it doesn't really matter. We're gonna help around the house.
Are you sure?
Yes. Alright, let's spend some quality time with Matthew. Matthew, let's help Matthew with the cooking. I walked into the kitchen and instantly looked over at Matthew, who was quickly slicing up strawberries and placing them into a nearby bowl. I walked over and looked over his shoulder to watch. Matthew didn't seem to mind, so I decided to ask him a question. Yes, Shelties, I programmed the bot to repeat that line, I think, every 10 minutes if more than 5 lines of chat or more have gone by, something like that. I put it on some kind of a timer. I'm testing it out. I might, if it gets annoying, I might, extend the time to like 15 minutes or something. It's just something that I'm trying out. Well, what are you making?
I'm going to make a large batch of strawberry cupcakes. These strawberries are going to be the top pieces.
Ooh, strawberry cupcakes. That sounds awesome. I love strawberry cakes and cupcakes. You're terrible at cooking? I'm not so great myself. I have some things I can make. I make a rosemary chicken meatloaf that is pretty bomb. Oh, that sounds delicious. Can I help?
Yeah, I kind of hoped you would. Can you start by making the batter for the cupcakes? I put the ingredients and some directions on the counter over there.
I nodded before heading over to another counter where a string of ingredients and a small note card of directions sat at the ready. Mac and cheese soup. That sounds yummy. I smiled and began to work, mixing the ingredients and pouring the batter into cupcake tins to bake. I had to admit I made a little bit of a mess, but I felt like the cupcakes were still fine. There we go. Now we just need to wait. As I turned to face Matthew, I noticed Matthew's face red. I tilted my head before he walked over and moved his hand a bit towards my face. He stopped, however, looking to me for permission. Guys, should we let him touch our face? Obviously, we're gonna let him touch our face. Oh, Gwen, that's not good. You don't ever put metal in the microwave or anything plastic on the stove. Ever, ever. Matthew continued to move his hands towards me, gently brushing a finger over my cheek. My senses tripled, feeling his finger wipe over a small stain of powder and cream that had landed on my face.
You, got a stain.
This little dork. Matthew's fingers were ginger and timid, wiping the stain off with as little contact as possible. Lightning shot through my body at each wipe, running down my spine in jolts. I closed my eyes unconsciously, leaning into his touch and naturally wanting more. However, Matthew pulled his hand away, causing me to open my eyes and look at him. Matthew was biting his lower lip and pulled his hand to his chest.
Sorry,
Ladybug Queen!
I got it all?
Okay, let's listen to this cutie's line.
Sorry, I got it all?
Oh, thank you. Matthew quickly shook his head and grinned his goofy grin at me before continuing to make another appetizer for the party. I blinked a couple of times, wondering if what I saw was real. Okay. Party, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I'm ready. Alright, we'll do good answers.
So, how do you feel living on your own at such a young age?
It's been pretty good, actually.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather passing away. It really hit all of us hard.
Thank you for your condolences.
Do you have college plans?
Yes I do.
What do you think will happen with the company now that your grandfather has passed?
We'll get back on track soon.
What do you think of the philanthropic policy the company has?
It's a policy that reflects my own values.
Do you think the company should expand from just toys?
It's a possibility. I don't know how good that was. I don't know.
Honey,
Hi.
Here we go with Andrew again. We're just gonna simply nod to him and be a little mean. Stay put. It's too cute. He obviously needed it. He's not CEO material. Wah, 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 Dad, you butt face.
You did good tonight. I'm proud.
Yeah, we made Dad proud, that butt face.
Keep it up, and you'll be a good CEO. All right, your mother and I...
Ah, Malex! You know what? Screw it. Fuck off! I just like telling him to fuck off. And I love his follow-up line.
Whoa, whoa! Who let the bitch out of her cage? What is this? A reverse harem or something?
What?
Hey, let her go! Sam, Eric!
I love how they just like fucking get into like fucking save Anderson position. Yeah, screw you, Malex. Ya butt. Alright, we've done all 3 of these. So, Gwen, do you want to make some coffee, work on homework, or explore the house? You choose, because I don't know. We've done all 3 of these, so I'm just gonna skip through it. I don't know. I feel like some kind of interaction. Tell me what I should do. Make my life choices for me. I don't know. I have a headache. Cubic! Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for joining. Everybody make sure to give Cubic a really warm welcome. Always awesome to see new people. Hello, hello. Oh, God. Coffee. Good. Not a bad choice. I could use some coffee right now. Let's not disturb them. What do you want to eat, Gwen? What do you want to make? I'm letting Gwen make all the decisions. Nice job, Gwen. Nice job with the welcome command. Oh my gosh. How am I just tired? Ah. Pizza, cause we're pizza shits. That will never get old. That joke will never. All right, pizza it is. We got pizza for Matthew. Find one of the Occupy. Here we go. Where the heck are they? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I sighed, knowing I'd have to search for them in each room. I quickly turned and headed back into the dining room one last time. When I arrived, I gasped. Matthew was crouched in the... Oh, I remember this scene! You guys are gonna love this scene! You guys are gonna love it. Hold on. Oh, why am I yawning? You guys are gonna love this scene. Matthew was crouched near the kitchen doorway, peering into it as a rat had gotten loose in the pantry and he was stalking the exterminator. Matthew? Shh! I quickly shut my mouth and pressed my lips together in silence, confused but fearful as to why I had to be quiet. I tiptoed to Matthew, who was crouching by the entrance to the kitchen. His gaze and head moved across the side of the kitchen, still trying to find whatever he was looking for.
He's in there.
I love that sound voice.
He's in there.
He's in there. What? Matthew's face was seriously fearful and intense. Who was freaking him out this much? My mind, however, instantly pinned the person down to my conclusion. Malex. Oh, that's right, guys. Malex is definitely here. Malex? Why did he come back and why was he in my kitchen? I started to freak out, remembering the fear I had the first time we'd met. However, I wasn't sure. Where were the others if it was Malex?
I lost sight of him, but I quickly found him and cornered him in there. I know he's in there.
Who's in there?
That fluffy killer thing.
Yes, Glenn, you were right. It is the thingy. Fluffy killer thing. Who are you talking to, Quebec? You can't really see any of us. Wraps a blanket. Yeah, cuddle in a blanket, you guys. I bit my lip, suppressing a laugh. Once I swallowed my laughter down, I let out a sigh. You mean your cute bunny doll?
Yeah, that thing. Wait, it's not cute!
Matthew instantly regretted not whispering and covered his mouth. I could not help but giggle. What is he doing in the kitchen? Matthew turned to me with an expression of utmost seriousness. Something told me that what he said would be cute and funny, but I decided to bite my tongue gently to not laugh no matter what.
I don't know.
I failed to keep hold of myself and started to giggle again. The thought of a doll doing anything but sitting there made me giggle. Matthew tried to hush me, waving his arms frantically to keep me quiet. Matthew, Simon's a doll. It can't do anything.
You named him?
Of course! Simon Tabby. Cute, isn't it? Yes. Anderson named the goddamn murderous doll. Matthew let out some sort of defeated whine before turning back to the kitchen, trying to find Simon from where he was. I placed our food on the table and looked as well. You saw my picture, and my icon? So, what's your plan of attack?
Well, I plan to make my way through the kitchen as quietly as I can, and hopefully not get stabbed.
Mama Chu-Chu is Fabu. I love that you started saying that. That's very funny. I'm not, but that's okay. I love that you guys like it. Yeah, just named it. I love that you guys are so sweet, though. It's very nice of you. What do you mean by special end? Matthew nodded before finally moving from his spot and tiptoeing into the kitchen. I stood there, unsure of whether or not I should follow suit. Obviously we are going to join the hunt. Oh! Chamo is white? Or am I pronouncing it wrong? I could be pronouncing it wrong. But hello! And welcome to the stream! I see people already giving a warm welcome. You guys know the drill. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. I love that we're getting new people. It makes me so excited. Hello and welcome. I don't know what the password... Well, I know the passwords unlock certain things. I don't know if there's any that open up a special end. Unless it's the mega password that does that. Anyway, we're joining the hunt. I didn't know why I was up for this, but I followed along. The small adventurous side of me was very happy with my decision, but another side of me was questioning me, asking me why I did that. Matthew slowly walked through the kitchen, scanning the cupboards and services with a malicious glare. It was both amusing and slightly frightening to see how serious he could be. Is it for just this route? Do all of your toys get out of control like this?
No, it's just this one. I don't know why. All my other toys are okay.
Also, lol, he makes toys and, Anderson Toy Company, LOL. Other toys? Matthew nodded, stopping his search to look at me.
That's what I do. Make toys. I made them for my mother all the time back in the Abyssal Plains, to help her cope with her position.
Oh, God, I forgot how sad Matthew's story is. Her position?
She's the fourth wife of my birth father. Each of us have a different mother, and all of them, except for Damien's, are queens. My mom, though, hates sharing, so I distracted her with toys.
I didn't know what to say. A demon with multiple wives seems natural, but I guess because I was human, I felt the twinge of disgust run through my veins nonetheless. Still, it was adorable how Matthew tried to cheer his mom up with his abilities. I could say that it's for the end of this route. I'm just trying to figure out, what the best time would be, what the best point in the game would be to play it. I mean, if it's a general ending for all of them, then I might wait till I'm done with Damien's. Gwen, you might get a little teary-eyed. It was then suddenly reminded of my grandfather and how he made toys all the time for kids. Matthew's power to make small toys instantly would have been so useful to my grandfather. I shook my head and began to search for Simon again. Let's keep looking for Simon. After this route? Is it for this route, though, or is it like a generic ending? Matthew nodded before joining in. I felt like I was in a comedy mystery, looking for a child's toy instead of a murder weapon.
Come on out, creepy thing.
Its name is Simon. Sorry, I had to quaff some water. I have a dehydration headache. I can feel it. Well, you gotta tell me, Shelties, because I need to know if it's for all the guys, then it would be best for me to do it after Damien, so that I can finish up all the guy stuff and then move on to the side routes. Matthew ignored my statement and began slowly opening the cupboard, sifting through the inside contents. I decided to follow suit, staring at the opposite end of the kitchen. Matthew, what do we do if we can't find him?
We stick him back in my pocket.
Gwen. We will, don't worry. He turns from a cinnamon roll to a cinnamon roll, if you know what I mean. I looked to Matthew, waiting for him to finish replying. However, he kept his eyes to the ground and trying to answer my questions and remaining in thought. I continued to search the cupboards, unsure of now if this plan was going to go anywhere. Oh my god. Okay, Shelties just messaged me and told me what it's about and gave me the password in a whisper. So now that you've answered my question, Shelties, yes, we will do it right after this route. That is appropriate. We will do it. I will put in the password. I continued to search the cupboards, unsure now if this plan was going to go anywhere. Why was I even doing this? Simon Tabby was a... What the... Matthew and I scanned the kitchen frantically, searching for the source of the laugh.
I knew that thing was evil!
Suddenly, everything went black.
Ah!
Who turned out the lights? I gripped to the nearby counter, not wanting to hit anything or fall in the darkness. There were no windows, so the room was almost completely pitch black. I could hear skittering across the floor like a rat rushing to escape with its cheese in its mouth. I instantly jumped in fear before suddenly being pushed to the ground.
Ah! Watch out!
I felt myself hit the ground with a body over top of me. 2 hands were slammed beside my head on the tile floor, stopping the person above me from crushing me.
Hey, are you okay?
Matthew? Yeah, I am. I stared up at Matthew, letting the situation sink in. We were looking for a doll, and now we were on the ground. What broke my thoughts was a flash of gold rushing across Matthew's eyes. I could feel his heat radiate from his body, but the air was tense and his body was almost shaky. Matthew, are you okay? Fraggie's here! The family troll is back! Hey, what's up, Fraggy? Now we're gonna be using the Fraggy command whenever he walks in, right? I heard him gulp, answering my question. He wasn't okay, I could tell, but he wasn't moving. Oh my god. Matthew?
Sorry.
Soon a golden glow covered Matthew's eyes. I expected to feel warmth in my body from an upcoming spell, but I felt nothing. Something was wrong.
I need you to push me off.
That sounded suggestive. There will not be a Bang Fraggy command! Basically, the original Fraggy command is the Bang Fraggy command because it's exclamation mark Fraggy, okay? It's not happening. From the sound of his voice, he was desperate to get up and off of me. Why couldn't he move, though? Then it hit me. Matthew, do you need energy?
I do. But
Matthew shut his eyes to try and hide his golden gaze from me. He didn't want to take my energy? Why? Was he ashamed to? Oh, guys, what should we do? I think maybe we should push him off. I mean, he asked us to push him off. It would probably be the nice thing to do. You know. I mean, I think that's the way we should go, you guys. Obviously. Shelty says push him off. Shelties, are you trolling Gwen right now? We're obviously not going to push him off. We're going to kiss him, obviously. If he needed energy, I was willing to give it. We are being nice to the cutie. We're being very nice to the cutie. That comes later, Freggy. I gently grabbed Matthew's face and tilted his head up to angle with mine. Leaning in closer to him, I brought my face and lips up to his and kissed him deeply. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how we got energy before. I shut my eyes, waiting for the draining feeling to reappear in my body. Matthew didn't move, nor did I feel energy drained from me. I opened my eyes and saw Matthew staring wide-eyed at me, but unmoving. He was unsure of what to do, and I had silenced him in confusion. I pulled away and spoke. I want to give you some of my energy. You used a lot of it, and I'm sure that the energy you took from me was only used for healing. Same thing she said to Sam. Let me help you.
I don't.
Matthew, if you don't want my energy, just tell me. But I'm offering it to you if you do. Yes, it's the same thing that happened with Sam. All of a sudden, I felt that familiar feeling of warmth run through my body once again. I felt my body slightly heat up as Matthew wrapped an arm around my body and pulled my body tighter to his. Kind of hard to do when you're, like, suspended on top of her. Matthew grew a lustful gaze before bringing a hand up to cup the back of my neck. You're welcome, Gwen. Before I knew it, Matthew pulled me into a gentle but passionate kiss. Heat erupted through my body as his kiss slowly and almost timidly got deeper. Matthew kept an arm around my waist while I rested my hands on his chest. The energy from my body was slowly draining into the kiss, making me feel light and warm. It was almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in this situation. Still, I had no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss. It's basically the same thing that Sam had. Matthew was full of surprises. Here's the unique part. As childish as he definitely was proving to be a man while he was kissing me. Matthew wasn't forceful, but his kiss was deep and passionate and felt almost magical. It was how I imagined a first kiss to be like, except with energy drain. Soon, though, the energy drain stopped and Matthew gently pulled his face away to end the kiss. I stared up at him as we both panted for air. I never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment I'd forgotten how to breathe. Matthew moved a strand of hair from my face to behind my ears, still full of desire. He was still, okay. I could feel the hold of his mind altering spell fade away, but yes, the same thing. Obviously we're gonna keep going. Gwen regrets nothing. I opened the opportunity, it's the same thing, yeah. Well, I know you were upset that I skipped over the makeout scene even though it was the same thing before, so I'll read through it again for you because it is Matthew's. I'll do it for you. I was open to the opportunity and I was enjoying it as much as he was. I wanted more and I was going to let him keep going. I wanted to keep going. I leaned up and kissed him again. Matthew gasped against my lips but continued to kiss back. Yeah, can you reboot her, please? I could feel him pull on the tail of my bow, releasing it and following his hand off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to his pocket before gently unbuttoning the top two buttons of my blouse. The desire in my body drove me insane, forcing a moan to escape my lips as his kisses ran from my lips down to my exposed neck. As he began to ravish my neck and shoulder in hot kisses, I leaned my head back and let a pleasureful sigh escape my lips. Error. Yes. I'm glad you're liking the error command. Matthew was ruthless in his passionate kisses on my skin. Matthew didn't stop touching and kissing me, making more moans and gasps rush out of my mouth into the open air. He may have been full, but he was as hot as I was. Gwen, are you like Kakusu from Asagao? Are you actually a robot? I couldn't even comprehend how much time we spent making out. I was so lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. Call it sinful, but I didn't care. Redundant. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment, even as he lowered his kisses down to my chest just above my bra. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about Matthew intrigued me immensely, but something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love, but it was way too passionate to be lust. What was it? You black out. There we go. Oh my god, Freggy. Alright, adjusting to the bed. Let's see, Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied around Simon Tabby in a nice bow with a small note attached to it, so it looks like we caught him. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
I'm really, really, really sorry. I didn't mean for it to go that far. Please forgive me.
This cutie pie, though. Okay, yep, same thing, blah, 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 indulging ourselves, blah, blah, oh, the real name.
My name.
Matthew's name. Your name?
My true name isn't Matthew. I want you to know my real name. If something were to happen.
His real name is Simon. No, I'm joking. His real name is not Simon. I think we heard it in I think we heard his name in one of the, in the backstory, I think. I don't remember. His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? Matthew gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Zaku.
Yeah, we did hear it, Zaku, right? Yes, we figure we're going... Matthew pulled away and smiled at me despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
If you are in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
I stared up at Matthew, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. Matthew smiled before releasing my hand and heading into the dining room. Something told me that name would be used eventually. Oh, and it will. Alright, we're gonna stand up and walk away. We're not gonna deal with the whole craziness of beating her up. That was super fun, though. Alright, and we know what happens here. Can we fight Malex? No, we didn't go through the house, so we don't have the power to fight him. We will die if we try. You want to fight Malex and then reload and call Zaku? I can do that. Alright, let's fight him. No way this was happening. No way was I going to let myself be a victim of this. I will.
What are you whimpering? Are you praying that the boys will come and save you?
I closed my eyes and took a breath before snapping up to one leg and sweeping my foot across Malex's face. Ha!
Oh!
Malex flew to the side and rolled, rubbing his cheek in complete shock. I could feel Eris step back away from me, leaving me to look at Malex and shake my foot out from the hit. Malex quickly hopped up and growled at me, obviously surprised but irritated beyond belief.
You little bitch! You think you're tough, huh? Well, I'll show you your place! Come here!
It's okay, Glenn. We'll reload and then you won't be dead. Malex charged at me, dropping the gun that would never hurt me to the floor and reaching for my face. However, I quickly crouched down and swept my leg in front of me, knocking Malex down once again. Ichisuke Kurosaki! Hello! Obviously a fellow Bleach fan. Welcome to the Chu-Chu Club. Everybody give super warm welcomes to Ichisuke. Ichisuke. I'm a master of the Japanese language, obviously. But welcome! I know we know Taekwondo shelties, but I believe without the power you get from searching the house, that this is insta-death, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I rolled back away from the fallen devil and cleared as I rose back up to my feet. Just because I'm a human doesn't mean I can't kick your ass. I placed my hands in front of me before sliding over to Malex and slamming the tip of my foot into his head. One of the devils around us tried to step in, but Eris held out her arm, stopping them.
No! Stay out of it! Let Malex deal with it!
Yeah, they don't really like Malex very much. Yes, welcome, friend, to the Chu-Chu Club. As commanded, the devils that surrounded us stood away from the fight. The group watching us was lost in the intrigue as I stood up against their leader. I continued to kick at Malex, who tried to block my kicks with his arms. I brought up a foot before slamming it down on Malex's chest. I definitely heard a rib or two crack at the impact, causing Malex to lose his breath. What I didn't expect was him grabbing my leg and pulling it out from under me. I fell to the ground, landing with a loud thud. Oh! I felt pain and shoot up my arms and run through my body at the impact my body had on the ground. I tried to push off, but the pain forced me to stay down. Malex took a chance to roll on top of me and pin me down, glaring and smirking down at me evilly. As I tried to get off of him, the futility of the situation dawned on me. I was fighting a devil. I was just a human. I wasn't magical, nor was I special. That is the hint for the trick to beating him. I wasn't going to beat him.
It's useless, woman. You're as good as dead. Bet you regret trying to fight me in the first place now.
Fear began to consume me. Oh, for the love of God, please someone find me. I prayed. I hoped that I wouldn't have to keep fighting. I was becoming desperate.
You have major balls trying to fight me. You're not even a man. You're a puny woman who's about to get what's coming to her.
Oh my God. What made everyone in the warehouse drop our fighting faces was the screeching of police sirens coming closer to our location. Malex smirked even wider.
It's time to have fun, boys. Make sure you kill them all.
Okay, so this is going to be the same scene again, I assume, with Eris telling him to step the fuck away. The devils all seemed to get excited and started to walk past us to meet with the cops, but a loud finger stopped and made them turn around. Malex and I looked to see Eris with her hand in the air post-snap. This is the same scene.
What are you doing?
Enough, Malex. We've wasted...
Yeah, we've done this scene before.
Like hell you are!
Malex, it's over. You can't even beat a human girl. You're losing your powers.
Shut your mouth!
Yeah.
All this for a bunch of pretty boys. You must be stupid and desperate. Human.
Yeah.
You really think women are weak? Let me fix that, sweetie.
Yeah.
Where is he? I swear I'm gonna...
He's gone. Eris took him and left. They won't be coming back.
Let's just get you home, miss. There's nothing more to see here.
So basically, we fight. If not for the police, we would have died a terrible, horrible death. Okay. Well, I was told that leads to instant death. So apparently, the only thing that really leads to instant death is to just keep on waiting like an idiot. Well, they don't know that she fought him off because, yeah. Because they're all gone by the time the guys arrive. Alright. Let's do it. Gwen, are you ready for bed? Yeah, Zaku saved me. Zaku! All of a sudden, a bright purple light engulfed the room, causing the devils around me to cover themselves.
What the?
Gusts of wind rushed past me, almost forcing me back. I covered my face with my arms, bracing myself and standing my ground. I tried to peek through my arms to see what was going on, but the light continued to shine brightly. As the gust slowly started to die, the light began to fade, revealing Matthew with his hands shoved in his pockets and his hood up. Matthew? Malex slowly moved his arms from his face, taking in the sight of Matthew before laughing hysterically.
Are you kidding me? You summoned the crybaby runt?
Oh, Malex, what little you know. Malex's laugh was cut short, however, stopped by his gasp of pain and the thud of something embedding itself into flesh. I couldn't believe it, but somehow a knife had been stabbed into Malex's shoulder, causing him to grip it as if in pain.
What the hell? A knife?
Next time, I won't miss your throat.
Matthew looks so badass in this CG, you guys! Malex snarled before ripping the knife out of his shoulder and tossing it to the ground. He quickly raised his gun and shot at Matthew, resulting only to stare wide-eyed at his target. In midair, a knife and Malex's bullet clashed and both collided to the ground between the demon and the devil. Matthew chuckled and pulled out his hand out of his pocket, revealing a handful of knives splayed out like a fan.
Too slow, Malex. Must suck being an old fart.
Vibrates intensely. Shelties. Malex instantly grew furious, charging at Matthew while shooting rounds at Matthew's shadow-covered face. Matthew followed suit, rushing backwards and shooting knives at each of Malex's shots. Each shot was stopped by a flying knife, making multiple clangs beat through the air. The remaining devils stared, trying to figure out what to do. Help Malex or watch in silence. Eris, however, walked up beside me and crossed her arms as she watched with an amused smirk on her face. As Matthew backed into the far wall, he stood still, tossing a knife upon knife at the incoming devil and his bullets. Cookie's here! Yeah, Cookie! Oh, Ichisuke, you've played this game before! I was not really a fan of Matthew myself, to be honest. His route is probably my least favorite. I'm a big fan of Eric myself. But Gwen super loves Matthew, and I don't blame her, because he is adorable. As Matthew backed into...
Gotcha, you knife-throwing circus freak!
I saw a smirk grow on Matthew's face before he hopped up and flipped over Malex. Oh god, I'm sorry, guys. I keep yawning. And the devil skidded to a stop, barely bumping against the brick wall. What? I don't have no idea what's going on. I'm getting notifications about my brother sharing something with me. I don't know. Matthew, however, didn't give Malex a chance to turn before shooting multiple knives into Malex's back.
Bye-bye, Malex.
Ah, okay. You haven't played it, but you've seen it. Alrighty. Matthew tossed the knife into the air and caught it before chucking it at the back of Malex's head. The knife, sadly, didn't get to meet its target as Malex ducked out of the way and turned to face Matthew with a face of pure rage.
You little shit!
Shelties! Are you using the follow command to promote all my stuff? Oh, okay, you're doing it to promote the Steam group. Yes! Everybody join the Steam group! Sheltie made an official Steam group for the Chu-Chu Club because she's full of adorableness. Oh, Gwen, the hug command is only usable by me. Because it's me giving hugs to everybody, I restricted it to just me. I'm sorry you can't use that one. Matthew poured out another knife and tossed it up and down in his hand, unchanged in his cool yet almost playful expression.
Little known fact, I just like having fun.
Correct, Cookie, only I can use that command.
That's a load of bull, Matthew. You might be your demon form. Why? Are you afraid I'll kill you as the demon scum you really are?
Oh wow, did I type it in? Oh, okay, I did type in the right command, okay. Demon form? I didn't understand. However, Matthew broke my thoughts from trying to figure that out.
Hey, mind closing your eyes for me?
Huh?
What are you babbling about now?
Before I could answer, the tension suddenly went from warm to almost ice cold. And then, at that moment, something in the air changed. The air instantly went from frantic to still in energy. What could have been described in tone as the color red quickly turned into a deadly mix of purple and blue, as everything began to blend together all at once.
You asked for it, Malex! Now you're gonna get it!
My eyes never strayed from Matthew's face, however, even as it changed. His eyes began to glow a bright golden color as dark blue circle formed underneath Matthew's bare feet. I stared at Matthew's skin began to morph and shift, changing from human to something else. For some reason, I was both scared and incredibly intrigued to see this new form. And there's our favorite cockblock here, Damien.
It's me. Don't look.
Here we go. Okay, here's the way he kills Malex, because we all know how great this is. I suddenly heard gunshots making me tense up, but then I heard the sound of multiple stabs, followed by Malex's screams of pain. The stabbing and splashing sounds of blood and flesh grew even more frantic in number. How many knives was Matthew using? Maybe it was better that I wasn't able to see.
Matthew, enough!
Almost instantly after James's command, the sound stopped. The only thing anyone could hear was the dripping of blood. Jesus Christ, Matthew! Cookie, we already did the makeout scene. It's over. I didn't skip it, though, so if you go to watch the video on YouTube, you'll see it. Oh, wait till you see Damien's story, though, Gwen. Like, Damien's story, though. Damien's story, though. is like, I can't even. It's more painful than anything.
I guess I went a little overboard, huh?
Malex is definitely dead, but you've lost your glamour spell.
Glamour spell? What did he mean? Why did Matthew sound so different? Why was this being hidden from me?
It's a spell that makes us look human.
I froze. Look human? They didn't have human forms after all? What did they look like?
Like demons.
Yeah, well, she asked a stupid question. As if Eric knew what Damien was talking about, Eric cleared his throat and spoke up, followed by the sound of a cork popping out of a bottle.
Well, not for much longer, Princess. Here, Matthew.
Oh, hey, you found my potion. Thanks.
I could hear the small clinking of glass being passed before hearing Matthew guzzle down a liquid of some sort. The feeling in the air around me gently began to warm back up, insinuating that everything had been returned to normal. Finally, Damien moved his hands from my eyes, allowing me to see around me once again. The devils, including Eris, had fled. On top of Malex's body was a dirty sheet that was quickly turning red from blood. The wall behind it was painted red in blood, still dripping onto the floor and onto the blanket. Matthew fucked him up, you guys. No, there is no Jacques command. Ever, 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 ever will there be a shock command. God damn it. Gosh. The blanket looked like it was covering a mound of dirt instead of a body. The boys, however, had gathered around me. All of them, including Matthew, looked like nothing had happened. What just... I tried to speak, but everything zipped around in my head at the whole event. I felt like speaking wasn't possible.
Let's just get you home, miss. There's nothing more to see here.
Yeah, Gwen. Malex should have known not to mess with you. He was gonna fuck him up. I could only nod. What had happened boggled my mind to the point of disbelief. I was second-guessing everything, lost in a sea of what and how and when. As we walked out of the warehouse, I looked to Matthew for some form of sign that I wasn't dreaming. Matthew rubbed the back of his neck, walking forward as if to get away from what just happened. It was over. Alex and the... Alright, here, let's slow this one down, because this always goes weird. Okay.
Finally, we can relax.
Yeah, we can relax.
It will be good to have some rest without devils breathing down our necks.
I'm just tired. Can I hit the hay early?
I think some sleep would be good for all of us.
I looked to Damien knowing he could read my mind. Yeah, here we go.
Should we be gone in the morning?
Yes, the epic question. Should they be gone in the morning? Obviously not. Alright. We all know this part. They were going to accept whatever I demanded. But here's Matthew. I looked to Matthew, feeling my heart flutter in my chest. I didn't want him to leave, but would he ask to stay? I hoped that he would say no and ask me to stay longer. As if he knew what I wanted, Matthew moved and stepped to me, taking my hands in his. He gently smiled at me and spoke.
I want you to know that you've been really generous to us, and I want to thank you for letting us stay here. But is it okay if we stay a little longer?
My heart skipped a while and a large red blush ran across my cheeks. The boy stared at Matthew wide-eyed but didn't dare speak out. Matthew stepped back to give me space, returning to where he was. I moved my gaze across each boy, trying to make a decision. Can we romance Diana? You bet your ass she's romanceable. Getting to her romance requires us to be supremely dickish and power-hungry, but we'll get there. We'll do it. I haven't done her route myself yet, but I've seen the choices that you have to make, and yeah. But yes, you can romance her. She is fully romanceable. Sam calls everybody a doofus, Freggy. It's his favorite word. We're gonna let them stay, obviously. I wanted them to stay. I wanted him to stay. I merely smiled, staring at the man I had come to have feelings for before speaking at last. I would love it if you all could stay. They cheered tiredly. My home is your home as long as you can still help with chores. Get out of here.
All right, everyone. We're all very tired, so let's head to bed, shall we?
Oh, so good. I'm all for heading to bed. You could ask the regulars. This is so not like me. I never yawn like this on stream. I'm so tired.
Oh! Yeah, sleep is actually a thing. Right.
We've had a very...
Sleep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we all know this. Alright, leave us alone with Matthew. Thank you! The others quickly left to finally rest, leaving me and Matthew alone at last. That smile. My heart fluttered a bit as Matthew practically skipped closer to me in excitement. It was really cute to see him that way, so I didn't do anything but smile.
Thank you so much for letting us stay.
You're welcome, Matthew. I'm happy to have you stay here. I watched his smile brighten a bit before he cleared his throat and chuckled a bit. I didn't know if it was my tiredness or growing attachment to him, but I felt myself sway a bit on my feet. Matthew's face made it clear that he wanted to say something else, but making me forget that my bed was also calling for me.
Listen. About what happened at the warehouse.
Oh, God. Hold on. I'm dying. No, it's fine. You did what you had to do. I understand. I am usually very awake. No, listen! When you do programming, an exclamation point is referred to as a bang. So when I was speaking about the Freggy command, I said bang Freggy on instinct, but what I meant was exclamation point Freggy is the command to type in. Alright? Don't get sassy with me. I know, I'm like choking to death. This is like awful.
Come on then. Let's get you to bed.
I got it before Matthew gently lifted me up into his arms like a bride and carried me to my room. Oh my god, my throat feels like it's on fire. Ugh. I didn't want to leave his arms, leaning my head against Matthew's chest, but eventually I was slowly lowered to my bed and covered with my bed covers. I was still in my school clothes, but I was too tired to strip or care. I looked to Matthew, fighting a yawn escaping from me as he gently ran a hand over my hair. God damn it!
Have a good night, okay? I'll make breakfast again in the morning.
I nodded with a tired smile before watching him slowly stand and leave my room, closing the door. This is the same thing we always do. Everything was peaceful. I was happy. And of course, this is the best part.
You are an interesting creature.
Screw you, Diana. Like, fuck Diana, but also fuck Diana. Oh, hell no. I just feel like saying oh, hell no to her. We'll yell at her a little bit. We've seen all this before. Demon crap. Here's the demon boys.
Oh, you're awake. How do you feel?
Fine. And now we're gonna get to learn about Matthew's story. Spoilers, it's not a happy one. Matthew nodded before he looked down at the bed, taking my hands into his.
I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Matthew, it's not your fault.
No, please listen. I know that Diana and Malex have come after you because of us, so it's our fault that you're constantly in danger. If I hadn't convinced everyone to come to the human world, we would have never been attacked by Malex and hunted down and brought you in danger and...
I quickly reached over and put my finger on his lips, stopping him from going any further. I didn't want to hear anymore. Matthew. Oh my god. Matthew, it's okay. I wanted to help you out. I offered to let you all stay. Nothing is your fault. Oh my god. Oh. I gently moved my hand and cupped Matthew's cheek, staring at him with concern. I didn't want him to hold his guilt in his mind about the whole ordeal. Diana was desperate and she'd hunt anyone for them. It wasn't his fault she was just desperate enough to hunt them down. My throat feels like it's on fire. I don't know what I did to myself. However, I grew curious. So, Matthew, you're a noble? Matthew looked at me and gave me a goofy smile.
I was once, but even if I had the title, I didn't really feel like a noble.
How come?
Well, I was the fourth noble son of the Demon Lord. With Eric and Sam ahead of me in case James couldn't fulfill his duties, there was no way I was getting the throne. So, I spent the majority of my time trying to make my mother happy. She was always unhappy.
Unhappy? How come?
Well, my dad was kind of... well, he married 4 different women. Each of us came from a different mother, and my mother was the last to be married and bear a son. The thing with succubi, though, is that they get jealous very easily.
So what happened?
The other wives got mad and scorned each other. It wasn't violent, but we never ate together for a reason. My mom, though, was too proud to have jealousy. She was the last woman the Demon Lord married, so she felt important. She felt that because he stopped marrying, she had the charm to stop his marrying spree.
Matthew let out a small laugh, a hint of depression lingering in the breath he let out.
But then the Demon Lord took another woman and she bore him a son outside of wedlock. Damien. The wives, including my mother, were furious. In response, the Demon Lord had a spell cast on them, turning them into spiritual orbs.
That's horrible. Matthew nodded, pressing his lips together in both agreement and sadness.
They could never have physical form, and they lost all their powers. They became slaves trapped in the Demon Lord's castle. However, they were kept alive to make sure their sons grew up to be competent demons.
I'm sorry. Matthew gently shrugged, letting out a small nostalgic smile grace his lips.
She taught me how to be a demon, though. Not just a demon, a grown, adult demon. I read books, I learned strategy, everything that James was doing under the Demon Lord's watch. Only, I trained with just my mother. She wanted me to surprise the Demon Lord one last time, and maybe take the throne away from James.
Yeah, so he was educated very similarly to James. But instead of doing it by the royal scholars, his mom taught him. Matthew is, second youngest. Damien is the baby. As he just said, he was the fourth kid, and then, the Demon Lord, had Damien out of wedlock. So he's older than Damien, but he looks very young. And his youthful appearance is actually a big cornerstone of his story, as you're about to see. Matthew then reached into his pocket and took out a small mirror.
Here, I'll show you.
Matthew handed it to me and sent a wave of blue mist into it. It began to glow until it enveloped the room in a bright light. When the light had subsided, I was back in the main hall of the demon castle. I looked around feeling unable to move, but I could practically see everything as clear as I had before. This cutie pie with his little devil horns. Demon horns, I'm sorry, he's not a devil. However, my focus gathered on Matthew sitting on the throne as if it was his and reading a book. For some reason, Matthew reminded me of James at that moment. He seemed engrossed in his reading each word and absorbing each meaning. Him on the throne surprisingly fit him. There was something about him.
This is an easy read.
Yeah, he's also, like, genius as fuck. A saddened cry, however, echoed through the hall, forcing Matthew to stop, close the book, and stand from the throne.
Mother?
I looked around, confused as to the cry was where it was at the cry and where it was coming from. It seemed to just echo through the room without any source of direction. Matthew sighed and placed the book on the armrest of the throne before he cupped his hands together.
Fly and comfort her, will you?
As Matthew opened up his hands, a small bird with blue and purple feathers perked up from the hiding place. Matthew smiled before releasing it into the air. I watched as it flew off and glided through an open archway. The sound of its flapping wings faded into the air as it flew farther into the castle.
Come on.
I could tell Matthew was holding his breath. He must have cared very deeply for his mother. It was incredibly sweet. At last, the sound of crying stopped, making Matthew release a happy sigh.
There we go.
Matthew cracked his knuckles in approval and reached for his book. However, before he could even graze the cover with his fingers, the sound of pattering entered the room.
You, fourth son, away from the throne!
Yo, this douchebag, man. Oh, it is sad, Gwen.
All right.
What am I going to do with you? You're a child.
Matthew glared at the servant as the servant quickly brushed the throne off like there was dust all over it.
The next time I see you on the throne, I will inform the Demon Lord. Understand?
Yes.
The demon servant continued to brush over the throne before knocking the book from the armrest. Matthew froze as the servant quickly patted over and picked it up.
What is this? A book? Why do you have it?
I was reading.
You read? You don't need to read. You're never going to need knowledge for anything, fourth son.
I saw Matthew's eyes twitch, making me grimace. The servant sure had a mouth. It was annoying at the very least.
I'll just take this book and bring it to the heir himself to read. He's reading faster than the library can provide.
But that's...
Raestro's next area of study.
The servant began to walk away, ignoring Matthew's glare of anger. The servant stopped, however, to look to Matthew to pound one more nail into the wound.
Let's face it, kid. You have the smallest horns, the smallest frame, and the least amount of power among the noble sons. You'll never be like them, so just stop trying. Use your incubus powers on others who have a child fetish or something.
Oh, shit! I forgot about that line. Well, Cookie, I believe he doesn't have a six-pack because he's meant to fulfill the youthful aesthetic, because there are some people who like that kind of character. I believe that was why he was made. Oh god, my phone is exploding. What the fuck? Oh my god. Everybody's reblogging and shit. I'm very excited. Hey, Hannah's back. Everybody give her all of the love, please. You know Hannah is one of the most beloved members of this group. Love on her, please. Give her lots of hugs. Hugs. It's time for hugs. Anyway, ouch. The demon looked at Matthew up and down before rushing off where he came from. Wherever he came from, as the servant disappeared. Matthew summoned a knife and chucked it into the direction where the servant left. This knife embedded itself into the hard stone beside the door in the hall.
Ugh, I hate that guy. Disgusting pig fawn.
Okay, Chip is all good. Feel free to correct me if I mess it up. Well, there will be no fights here. There will be no fights here. Hold on one second. Okay. Matthew walked over and sat on the foot of the throne, clearly aggravated. Eventually, Matthew stopped to the magic, lowering the mirror and holding it in his hands before looking to me.
I had hoped to show you my mother, but I guess the mirror wanted to show you something else. Sorry.
That servant is terrible.
Tell me about it. He served the Demon Lord almost his whole life. Ugly pig fawn.
Matthew laughed while I laughed at the insult. It was good to see Matthew in good spirits despite what was shown and what was happening around us. Still, it was sad to see that he was considered the child of noble sons. He could read books of knowledge that his brother hadn't read, and he seemed caring. It was insulting to see someone tear him down like that. Well, that's unfortunate, Chip. That's very unfortunate. Hashtag ugly pig fawn. Matthew smiled at me before pocketing the mirror.
Whatever. Thankfully, we got out of there, so I could be with my brothers like a normal family. No hierarchies, no politics, no pig funds, nothing.
You guys hear this? If you know what that is, scream it out in the chat. Happens every goddamn night. Hold on. Y'all know what time it is, so just give me a second. Yes, Shelties! It's time to take my damn allergy medication. That's exactly what time it is. Meds! I love that everybody knows it's meds time for Mama Chu-Chu. Okay, I've taken my medication. I smiled. It was good that he saw the positive side. However, his face slowly turned to a sad one before he looked down at the bed. Fraggy. Watch out there, buddy. Matthew?
You've done a lot for me and my brothers. Sheltering us, letting us continue to live here. It may not seem like much, but for us it's everything. But I don't want you to get hurt because of us.
I watched in speechless silence as Matthew lifted his head, his eyes full of almost hopelessness.
That's why I'm sorry.
It's either meds or my dying laptop. Now, my dying laptop doesn't make that sound. That is definitely my phone alarm going off telling me to take my goddamn meds. Which is really just Zyrtec. My throat feels a lot better now, too. I didn't want to worry you guys and say it before, but it was really hurting to speak before. I don't know what happened. Chip, I believe that he was making a fish and chips joke, like, you know, like the English meal, fish and chips. Matthew lowered his head in shame. I couldn't help but feel my heart squeeze within my chest at the sight. He truly cared. Matthew let out a small sigh before looking to me with a new smile. He hid his sadness well, but I could tell he was still upset about the whole ordeal.
Alright. You need to sleep and I need to make dinner. I'll wake you up when dinner is done.
Matthew gently pressed me back down on the bed, resolved in what had happened. We're gonna steal a kiss from him, obviously. I couldn't let him leave without doing something. I quickly pulled Matthew down to me, lifted my head and gently kissed him, softly laying a hand on his cheek to keep his face close. Matthew stared in deep surprise before hesitantly kissing me back, caressing my cheek and slightly melting at the touch of our lips. A soft sigh escaped his lips before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red in the face at the simple gesture. He let out a satisfied sigh before nuzzling my forehead.
Go to sleep.
Kiss the boy. We did. And with that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself before relaxing in the mattress. Yeah, Diana's a bitch. We gotta find her.
Leave me alone.
Oh, shit. My heart stopped. Diana was with Matthew. My mind flew into slow motion, playing fake images of Diana trying to seduce Matthew in my head to further fan the angry flame inside of me. I instinctively followed Matthew's voice. I was approaching the grand lobby and followed the commotion to the dining room. The sound was echoing from the kitchen, so I peeked aside where he was hiding around the corner. I almost growled at the sight. Matthew was holding to one side of the kitchen island counter with Diana holding the other side, looking at him with a smirk.
Oh, come on, Matthew. Don't you like games? A game of tag sounds so fun.
Not with you. Now go away.
Matthew confirmed for Jeff the Killer. Maybe Simon is confirmed for Jeff the Killer. I don't know.
I'm hurt. Wounded, truly. Did I go too far?
You went too far when you came here and attacked her.
Yeah, it's right. Don't attack Gwen Pie.
Pity. And here I thought I was going to offer you the chance to become something better than just a simple incubus.
What was Diana going on about? More than just an incubus? She was insane.
How about becoming the next Demon Lord?
I froze. What did she mean? Becoming the next Demon Lord? The boys weren't in the demon world anymore. They had no claim to the throne anymore. Matthew stared at Diana, which made me worried.
The next Demon Lord?
Well, currently, I'm the contracted bride to the heir to the throne. Since the throne is open, it's available to any son of the Demon Lord's line.
The next scene is not a makeout scene, Cookie.
Think about it. You'll gain the throne, the land, and a bride to continue your lineage with. Doesn't that sound like a perfect life for an incubus like you? You'll show your father and mother how grown up you are, that you're not just some little cute boy people can take for granted.
Yeah, that's Matthew's basic deal, is that he's just tired of being treated like a child because of how young he looks. I could feel myself gripping my fist tightly in anger. How dare this girl try to convince Matthew to return to the demon world? He ran away from it. He didn't have to go back. He shouldn't go back. My mind began to wander, imagining him saying yes. Yeah, they'd be trapped, and yeah, they would follow him, and she would lose him.
Like I would believe you.
You don't need to believe me, Matthew. You just need to come back home with me. I promise, you'll be respected as you were supposed to be.
I'm not falling for it.
Fall for what? The truth? The truth is that your brothers still treat you like a child, even though the demon world is far behind you. The truth is that your little human love affair is fleeting. She can never see you as a man, just as a little boy who wants to grow up.
Stop it!
I stared as Matthew chucked a handful of knives at Diana, who ducked and dodged them with ease. They dug themselves into the tile wall before fading away as if they didn't exist.
You dare attack me?
I'm not going back. And that is final!
Yeah, he should throw Simon at her! Why didn't he throw Simon at her? That would be a good idea. I could see Matthew's muscles tense and flex, wanting to attack Diana. The girl in question, however, took a deep breath and looked at Matthew with a pleading look.
You won't even return to your mother? She's been crying ever since you left.
Do not bring her into this!
Matthew glared as Diana circled the island towards him.
She begged me to bring you back. She wants you to get what you deserve. The throne.
I don't believe you.
Matthew then walked away from Diana, heading to the fridge to start dinner, as if she wasn't there. Diana stopped and leaned against the counter.
She'll never love you, you know.
I don't mind. I care for her.
The human girl? You must be joking. A human like her can't possibly provide you what you need. She's a human. You're a demon.
I felt the urge to storm in and shut her mouth. It would give away my position, but I was growing extremely tired of Diana. Yeah, we're gonna barge in. I decided to be assertive and quickly step into the room, rushing to be in front of Matthew. Diana and Matthew looked at me in surprise as I glared daggers at Diana. Get out.
Well, well, little human. You're awfully nosy in business that doesn't concern you.
It does concern me.
Does it? I don't think a human would understand the importance of this affair.
You're asking him to leave to be someone he doesn't want to be. That's not going to happen.
Oh? And what makes you so sure about that?
Chip, it is 110% okay. This is family here. There's no worries. I love him. Diana stared in shock at my exclamation. Was it not what she expected? I didn't care what she expected. I wasn't going to lose the man I had grown to love.
You love him?
To my side, my noble Einherjar.
Oh! Belinaris Lavalon. I think I pronounced that right. Welcome to the Chu-Chu Club. Thank you so much for following. Everybody, warm welcomes. You know the deal. Thank you so much. What is 110% okay? What Chip was just saying. That's what I was referring to what Chip said. I love you guys too. Diana's lips twitched, the edges curling into an amused smirk as she stared at me.
So what? A human's love isn't enough to understand the situation. A demon can never reciprocate human feeling.
To both our surprise, however, Matthew stepped forward and put an arm around me, pulling me close to his body.
I love her.
I saw the confidence that Diana had shatter in her eyes as she stared at Matthew at his words. I could see the struggle in her face to try and find some weakness in Matthew, in me, anything.
A demon love a human? Impossible.
You heard me. I love her, Diana. I'd do anything for her, and she cares for me more than anyone in the abyssal plane ever had. More than you'll ever know. She makes me feel like the adult I'm supposed to be, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Ever.
Yeah, you tell her, Matthew. Aww, you've been watching my YouTube videos. That is awesome. I'm so glad that you enjoyed them and that you decided to stop by. That's so exciting. I'm so glad that you can make it. Everyone make sure to give Belinaris tons of love. Diana took a step back, physically feeling the sting of Matthew's words in her chest. She'd lost. I could see it in her eyes. Diana's eyes grew dull as she glared at me and Matthew. It seemed almost uncharacteristic of her, yet it was something I wasn't surprised to see come from her face.
Very well. Fine. Valet.
Bye-bye! And with that, Diana faded into the ground into a purple pentagram, crossing her arms and almost looking upset. Matthew and I were then left alone with the silence of the room. I finally let out the air I was unconsciously holding in my chest, relaxing from the ordeal. Matthew stepped to me and held me gently, surprising me.
Are you all right?
I nodded in response, unable to speak so immediately after being surprised. Matthew let out a sigh, relaxing into the embrace. I gently placed my hands around him, returning the embrace slightly. I could hear Matthew's heartbeat. He held me close in his arms and I felt safe beyond words. Are you okay?
Of course I'm okay. I'm holding you.
I looked up at Matthew, surprised at what he said. Matthew blushed, moving a strand of hair from my face to look down at me.
You mean so much to me. You make me feel like more than just a kid. I've never felt this happy before with anyone, and here you are giving me every reason to love you. I love you so friggin' much.
He's so cute. I stared wide-eyed, blushing like a maniac. Was this real? No way. This couldn't be real. Was it Matthew confessing to me? Confessing his love for Gwen? Of course he's confessing his love for Gwen. Hold on 1 second. Matthew gently caressed my cheek, staring into my eyes with a loving, almost hopeful expression. The warmth of his hand invited me to nuzzle into it, closing my eyes. This wasn't a dream. My heart was pounding hard enough to where I was sure Matthew could hear it. Yeah, he is older than Damien. Matthew gently leaned in, closing his eyes. He stopped, however, remaining just a mere torturous inch away from my lips. He wanted me to show my feelings for him. He left himself open for me to kiss him or leave him empty. The power I had was unbelievable. Obviously, we're kissing him. I loved him and wanted to give him exactly what he wanted. I gently leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his gingerly. Matthew let out an almost surprised gasp against my lips before wrapping both of his arms around my waist, pulling me close to him. I moved my arms up around his neck, feeling the kiss between us deepen to a heated height. My chest was pounding, making me feel and see fireworks in my mind. Matthew was everything I desired. He was the man I wanted, demon or not. It was all so supernatural. It's the same thing. Okay. I found myself combing my fingers through Matthew's hair, making the man holding me softly tremble at my touch. He gently nibbled on my lower lip, asking me to deepen the kiss between us even further. I easily teased him before finally opening my mouth slightly for him. His tongue gently danced with mine as one of his hands slipped up my back and cradled my head. He gently leaned my body back, making me cling to him as the heat of our kiss rose higher and higher. Same thing as every other scene. Here we go. I can feel myself melt already. I knew exactly what he wanted. He didn't need energy, though, right? What could he want, you guys? Are you?
No, I
stared wide-eyed, feeling a blush on my cheeks grow. He didn't say anything more, but I knew what would have followed if he continued. He wanted me. I was stunned. Was I that appealing to him? Was his passion really that deep for me? Matthew gently nuzzled my forehead, losing the blush and finally being able to speak.
If you don't want to, we don't have to. I mean, it's up to you.
I could feel my mind go numb and purr at the idea. A moment with an incubus. He was a demon of sex, the purest form of lust and desire. My world would rock and I would enjoy every second of it. That is true. At the same time, I was indeed inexperienced. Diana wasn't wrong when she claimed me to be innocent. Did I want to give that innocence to him, especially this early? Hold on. I'm clicking on this chip. Hold on 1 second. I totally agree, actually, Chip. I found myself forgetting the words yes and no. What could I say to him? I knew what I wanted, but how to say it without breaking the moment. So, you could say whichever one of these. You get the same ending, by the way. Basically, the only difference is if you hit Seduce Me, you get the sex scene. Obviously, there's not actually any visual sex. It doesn't actually go that far, but if you're not comfortable with that sort of thing, you can skip it completely. I did consider skipping them completely, but I just fuck it. I couldn't believe the two words that came out of my mouth. It made the most sense to tell him yes. I needed him. I wanted him. The two words must have made something in him finally break. Matthew gently wrapped his arms around me and went back to kissing me passionately. I could feel the energy whiz about me, making me open one eye to see blue light glowing around us. When the light subsided, I was in my bedroom on my bed with Matthew above me. I stared at Matthew stared as Matthew held a look of both lust and love. My heart skipped a beat simply from his gaze on me. This was okay. I wanted to see all of him and give myself to him. I gently guided his head to me, kissing him slowly and bringing him further into the mood. Matthew slid both his hoodie and his shirt off and tossed them to the side before cradling my head in his hands and kissing me deeply. I felt heat rise in my body, making me undo the tie underneath my collar and releasing the buttons on my own shirt. Yeah, I know you love the music, Glenn. Quickly, I removed my shirt and vest, making Matthew stop kissing me and stare in slight surprise. I was simply in a bra, but I could feel a blush invade my cheeks. My shy side began to fester in my mind. Did I really want this? To undress before a demon? No, this was the man I loved, and yet I felt my innocence drape over me in almost shame. This music is turning you on. I needed to fight it. I quickly rolled both of us over to where I was sitting on Matthew's lap, staring down at him. Matthew sat up, looking at me with one of the most sexy smiles I've ever seen. Oh yeah, that's right. This is CJ. Enjoy, Glenn. Matthew pulled me close, knowing I was still shy, and began to kiss my lips over and over. Each kiss was his promise to keep me safe, keep me comfortable, love me. I kept my arms wrapped around Matthew, taking each kiss as he gave and giving him my own kisses in return. I don't know why this stuff is so hard on, like, I can't speak. I didn't know if it was the fact that we were both top nude, and maybe I just craved his touch, but I didn't want to let him go. However, as he held me, I could slightly feel the shiver of his hands. Was I his first? Uh-oh. What happened, Frankie? You troll. He wasn't going to tell me. He wanted me to enjoy this moment, but I was afraid of screwing it up. His shivering hand showed me his emotions perfectly. Oh, God. Oh, God, Frankie. All right, I know what you're talking about. As he laid me down and knelt over me, Matthew smiled and finally embraced me as we both desired. The pleasure between us would be heavenly, and we'd go through it together. I closed my eyes and gave myself to Matthew. My body, my mind, my soul, it all belonged to him as he held me. His body, his mind, his soul, it all belonged to me as I gave into his embrace. Cookie. His kisses and fingers over my skin would forever engrave themselves into my memory as our passion rose through incredible heights. Our breaths and moans to each other equally sounded and echoed like a blissful chant we never wished to end. We kept moving, loving, feeling every inch of our bodies until we'd had enough and I was enveloped in his embrace. Skin to skin, heartbeats matching, we held each other in the glow of the aftermath. I nuzzled my head under Matthew's chin as he held me close.
I love you.
Hold on, we're gonna do it again for Gwen.
I love you.
I love you too. I'd have my life was simply perfect. Okay, this scene again. We're not leaving Matthew for your bullshit tricks. Absolutely not.
Well,
no.
May you never.
We're never going to regret our choice, Diana. Screw you. I will never regret it as long as I live. I walked back inside and gently crawled back into bed with the embrace of the safest arms I knew. I snuggled close to the warmth before closing my eyes. I was happy. The rest of the story can almost be passed over. With Diana gone, my life returned to normal with school and my friends not remembering what had happened. It was as if magic never appeared in my world. One thing was for certain, however. Matthew loved me and I loved him just as much. We'd promised our lives to each other and nothing was going to take that away from us, not even time itself. Our love was so powerful it practically overwhelmed me with joy every time I found him holding me close every morning. To think, a demon in love with a human like me, it was unthinkable, unbelievable. It was practically impossible. But it was true. The other boys decided to leave of their own accord. They knew that my future would only need Matthew at my side, so they decided to start their own lives in the human world. Matthew understood perfectly, wishing his brothers the best. Besides, Matthew had proven to be a man by finding someone to care for. His brothers didn't need to worry about him now that he was caring for me. I felt bad as well, being closer to Matthew than the others, but they reassured me that I was okay and that they would remain nearby should I ever need them. I was happy for that. Uh-oh, Gwen.exe is failed. Oh, God. They made me promise, however, that I would love Matthew for as long as we lived. That promise was instantly given. Shelties! Shelties is the troll now. But what of my future? Yeah, James is going to be CEO. That being said, I was still scared of where the company. Matthew reassured me that he would support me and help me get through whatever I decided to do. I was grateful and would never forget that promise. I was happy and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. Chip, that sounds pretty crazy, actually. One afternoon, a good couple of years after the boys and I had met, I had a moment to myself, so I wandered my house and took in all that had happened as if it were a dream. The demons, the devils, the magic, all of it was surreal to believe. It almost frightened me to think that it could have been all a dream. But the warm feeling in my heart reminded me that it was all real. The demons, the magic, the love I had, all real. I smiled as I held my hands to my chest, relishing in the feeling dancing within my soul. I let out a happy sigh before looking up and seeing where I had wandered to. I realized that I was standing in the dining room. I stopped at the smell of baked goods. Taking a gigantic whiff, I let the smell of sugar and sweets fill my senses. Matthew must be baking again. I tipped over and peeked into the kitchen, wanting to know what he was making.
Almost done.
I watched as Matthew started to decorate an already wonderful-looking cake with blue and white frosting. It looked delicious. I was practically salivating. However, as I watched him, I smiled. He looked so concentrated in his work. It was adorable.
And there! Perfect!
Matthew stepped back from the cake, allowing me to see his masterpiece. It indeed was perfect. I wanted a taste, and soon. That looks amazing, Matthew.
What?
Matthew quickly turned to me in surprise, trying to hide the cake as I laughed.
I'm not done. I mean...
Matthew. I walked over and smiled, giving him a kiss before walking around him to the cake. Closer, it looked all the more scrumptious. What is this for?
Well, I mean, it's for something pretty important.
I looked to Matthew, raising an eyebrow as he wrapped an arm around my waist. What is it for?
Guess. I'll give you 3 chances.
Jules! Welcome back, my friend. Jules is an old-time watcher, actually. You don't get to see her enough, unfortunately. Or what? What if I don't get it right?
Then the cake is all mine.
Hey, no fair! Instinctively, I wanted to pull away, but Matthew laughed and dabbed some whipped cream on my nose from a nearby decorating spatula.
It's totally fair. Now just guess.
Is it your birthday? Matthew shook his head.
Nope. Second guess.
Is it an anniversary? Matthew nodded, but before I could cheer, Matthew rotated his hand, gesturing me to continue.
Anniversary of?
I puffed my cheeks. I could memorize facts and lessons, but dates were bad. It was like asking a girly girl when her boyfriend's frat party was. Matthew laughed before he kissed my cheek, making my puffed cheeks deflate.
It's the anniversary of when we first met.
I'd practically forgotten. He was right. It had been a couple years since I moved in and met Matthew and his brothers. He threw a party last year for it. How could I have forgotten? Time definitely flew. Matthew smiled at me, making my heart flutter and squee once again.
I want to celebrate it every year in a different way. Next year will be something extraordinary. For now, though, this cake will do.
I quickly pulled Matthew's head down with my hand and kissed him sweetly, wanting to show my appreciation with a kiss. He stared at me as if his greatest wish had come true. I fought back a giggle at the sight. Matthew gently pulled me to him, hugging me to his chest. I nuzzled into Matthew's chest, hearing his gentle heartbeat and memorizing its tempo.
I love you.
I love you too. Before I could finish, suddenly the cake, which had been sitting silently and peacefully on the counter, exploded into a giant mess. Matthew, luckily, was quick enough to pull us back before we got hit with flying cake pieces.
What the?
I looked at the cake to see a very mischievous little creature standing over the cake, triumphant at what it had done. I began to laugh as Matthew grew red-faced.
Simon Tabby!
I quickly rushed over and grabbed Matthew, who made a squeak noise in his hands. Simon, I'm sorry. I was still giggling as Matthew came over and glared daggers at the white doll covered in cake. To calm Matthew down, however, I stretched up on my toes and kissed him softly on the lips. Matthew stared but kissed back, not wanting to let me go without a kiss of my own. I love you, Matthew. Matthew sighed before smiling at me, finally calm.
I love you too.
I didn't want to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this man in my life. There were no words that could describe the emotions within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic, high, all at once. Here I was with the man I would be with forever, with a cake I would delight in, even in pieces. I'd gained the heart of a demon, no, of the man I loved. I vowed to cherish him and love him for the remainder of my days and beyond. Could a demon love a human forever? I knew Matthew would. And that was my happily ever after. Yes, and that is the true end, Matthew's cake. Okay. So, the passwords, though. Okay. I forgot how to put in the passwords, actually. Shelties, how do you put in the password? I forget. Extras, it's probably in the extra section. Credits, opening trailer. Yes, so by the way, just so you know, oh, this is Mika. Mika is the original name of the main character. But yes, Naomi, Suzu, Andrew, and Diana are all romanceable. We'll get to them. Shelty said she would be back. Okay, because I forget how to put in... I don't know if you just type it. No. Whoa. Thanks for that. Why would you take a screenshot? Hold on. Full screen, please. Thank you. Stupid game. Bloopers. Maybe we can look at some of the well, no, I don't want to look at the bloopers because they might have spoilers for the other routes. Also, I'm not going to touch the bloopers probably at all because you guys should be downloading the game and playing it yourself and enjoying the bloopers. I highly suggest you guys get it. Remember, this game is available for the wonderful price of FREE free. This game is free, you guys. That's all I have to say. It's free. Just friggin' download it and play it. Why is it not responding? Oh, I know what's happening. Don't mind me. Oh my god. This game is so freaking glitchy. Sometimes. Thank you. Oh, bonus. This is where you're supposed to put it in. What is the angel's password? All caps, no spaces. So I'm gonna wait for Shelties to come back, but Demon War was the first one they put. So let's do the Demon Wars one, okay? It's been 2 years since he passed away. My visits to his grave became fewer as time went on, but no one could tell me that I stopped. I tried to visit him whenever it was sunny, so bad weather wouldn't bring down my mood. It was better to not be sad when I came by. Today, though, was an incredibly happy day. I was so full of emotion I couldn't help but visit his gravestone. I wondered, what would grandfather think of me? After all, I was about to marry a demon. I was about to marry the man of my dreams, and I'd stopped before going to the wedding venue to talk to my grandfather. I'm pretty sure I looked odd in the cemetery, donning a wedding dress. However, I really didn't mind. I needed to come regardless. I stood by the grave, staring down at it with a smile. I'm getting married today, Grandpa. The wind gently danced around me as if my grandfather ushered it to reply. I grew a brighter smile and let it out a sigh. I couldn't lie. I wanted my grandfather to be at my wedding, but I couldn't go back in time. Even if I was able to, how could I have stopped him from dying? I shook my head. I didn't want to think of that. Not on the day of my wedding. I hope you'll be there in spirit, Grandpa. I'm sure you'll... Before I could continue my sentence, the sky suddenly became dark, causing me to look up. Rain began to fall and patter against the stone as a grass and haunting bell began to chime. What boggled my mind was the fact that the rain was avoiding my body. It was like I was in a safe circle underneath an invisible umbrella so the rain couldn't soak me or my dress. What the... Was this grandfather's doing? Why was it raining all of a sudden? The rain became heavy, and I didn't dare move from my spot, afraid of what would happen if I moved from it. I looked to the grave, confused and concerned. My eyes locked onto the grave. This wasn't a natural storm. Magic was at work here. My heart gave a gentle thud in reply to my conclusion, but the word magic reverberated in my mind. Magic. I looked down and lifted my hands to scan over my gloved palms. My fingers began to tingle, almost as if that single word had unlocked something. Magic. I gently pinched the edge of one glove with 2 fingers and slid it off, revealing my bare hand. Nothing had changed, but I could feel that something was different. We didn't do the other one, Shelties. No, I wanted to wait for you. We'll do the other password after this. I could faintly feel energy zipping through the nerves under my skin, dancing in excitement at the word magic. I wonder. I knew Diana took away my energy and my magic before she left. But what if I still had some left? I raised my hand to the sky and focused on the back of my hand. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had to see something. My mind quickly formed a word in my mind. I didn't know where it came from, but I let the word escape my lips in a soft whisper. Decino. As soon as the sound of that word faded into the air, the rain around me suddenly froze as if time had stopped. The wind was still slightly blowing, but the rain had stopped. I slowly lowered my hand and looked around. Did I really do this? Before I could move again, the raindrops and the stormy clouds began to fade away, returning the day to the sunny weather it had been before. I looked around and noticed that the grass and gravestones were all dry, as if the rain didn't even fall in the first place. That was...
I knew it! I knew it! That girl has demon magic!
What the...
And quit talking and let's take her! The demon lord will be so pleased.
Who? Before I could turn to search for the voices, I felt hands grab hold of my feet, making me look down and lift my dress. 2 pairs of evil-looking hands had taken hold of my ankles, reaching through a dark and red-purple pentagram. I shrieked, trying to pull my legs away, but couldn't stop them from swiftly pulling me into the ground. I was pulled deeper into the darkness. I was no longer in my world. I was being dragged through a dark void, one that I couldn't escape. I reached and clawed in at the dark, trying to find something to grab to. I tried to pull my legs out of the grips holding them, but couldn't pull free. What was going on? Why was this happening? Someone help me! As if someone heard my screams, I suddenly felt the hands let go and disappear, leaving me to float in the darkness they left me in. I shut my eyes. Please let this be a dream. Please let this be a dream. I finally felt a surface form under my feet, and I collapsed onto it, curled over my body from the experience I had. I didn't dare tear my eyes away from my lap, not ready to get up just yet. The voice I heard, however, made my heart stop.
You! What are you doing here?
Coming soon, Seduce Me to the Demon War. Yeah, that was a preview for the next game. LOL. And we got an achievement for that as well. Yep, that is the concept for the second game. Okay. So, now that Shelties is back. What is the angel's password? All caps, no spaces. The reason why Shelties didn't want to say this password is because it kind of gives away what it's about, but we are all ready to go now. The password, ladies and gentlemen, transform Simon.
This house seems a bit much for one person. Huh? Oh, hello there. Aw, aren't you adorable? What are you doing here? You don't seem to be just a stuffed animal. Well then, you seem interesting enough. Might as well see your true form.
True form? Oh shit!
What the? What did you do to me?
Oh my god, you guys! Whoa! What? He's adorable!
I released you from your smaller form. So much magical energy shouldn't be shoved into just a small toy.
You changed me? Why?
Because you shouldn't be forced to live as just a simple stuffed animal. I merely wanted to help.
Well, now how am I supposed to sneak around? I'm too big now!
Don't get fussy with me. You can transform back at will. I merely unlocked the door to that form.
You're weird.
So much for generosity. I just want to get this over with. So many technicalities. Don't give me that look. If anything, this is your fault. Don't give me that silent treatment. I don't want this, but if this romance story needs another villain so badly, then I have no choice in the matter. However, I will come out of this victorious one way or another. I will not let my kingdom fall because of this stupid story. Stubborn, as expected of you. You're as heartless as the Demon Lord. You should probably excuse yourself now. The human will be here soon, and I want to make my entrance without you hovering over my shoulder. This isn't what I want, but that's how the story is written.
Congratulations! We got an achievement unlocked behind the curtain. So that was interesting. It might be somebody who worked on the game, I think. Because that was very fourth wall breaking. I could try and look it up, though. Hold on. Seduce me. Let's do a special scene with Diana. Spoiler for Angel's password. Let's see if somebody has figured this out or if we're missing something. What is up with Kay? Kay is a character of the creator that is in several other games that were made by Seraphim Entertainment. Oh, guys! Well, there's a spoiler here about Kay. I'm not gonna say it, though, because, that has to do with, I believe, Damien's route. Yeah, so Kay is a character that's been in other Seraphim Entertainment games, and she plays a little bit of a part in Damien's route, I believe, if I remember correctly. Not directly. I don't even know if you really see her, but she's representative of one of the creators of the game, so it is a very fourth wall breaky thing. But anyway, that is Matthew's route. Gwen, I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm gonna stop the stream here. I might start it up again. Maybe I'll do some writing. Maybe I'll do, I don't know. I'm so super tired. I don't really know if I really have the energy to write right now. We could play something else if you guys want. Oh my gosh. Alright, well let me end this stream for now. I'll put the stream back up in just a second. I just want to end this video. So give me just 1 second.